One of the biggest problems in society, if not the world, is a lack of balance. And this is what this channel is aiming to address. We're not talking about fence sitting or hiding from issues. We're talking about having a balanced approach to all aspects of life. There can obviously be a lack of balance in some people's work life, their diet, their marriage, and various other areas of their life. Sometimes people can recognize certain imbalances, but when it comes to issues that make them emotional, then they usually don't want to admit to themselves that there's any kind of issue or imbalance, not in their life and not in their thinking. If you look at politics in the West, people can easily recognize the imbalances in their political opponents, but as they believe their side is completely in the right, their emotions will build a wall around their ideas, protecting them against reality. This wall of hypocrisy, this denial of their group's own failings, is causing the increased divisions we see in society today. Certain people, firmly on either the political right or political left, are becoming so extreme that they not only disdain each other, but they're becoming increasingly disapproving of anyone that doesn't completely share their point of view. The far left have become the perfect example of this kind of behavior. Anyone with such unbalanced views will see people in the middle as failing to take any kind of side. They think that they're merely fence-sitters, acting like moral cowards. The idea of having a balanced view is completely alien to these people. Everything is black and white. The other side is evil, and only they're on the side of good. People that think like this aren't just unbalanced, they're intellectually lazy and weak. They can't think like individuals. They can't be nuanced about issues. They're so scared of standing alone that they merely follow the narrative of their political tribe. These people are the real moral cowards. These type of people can only cause division. They can't truly inspire others to better themselves. At best, they can indoctrinate you into their cause. They're effectively mindless drones that hide behind the herd mentality and are unable to break away from the group consciousness. Because if they do, they're afraid their side will crucify them and they'll be outcasts. If society and the world are to evolve, then these types of people need to find the middle way. It doesn't mean to be 50% black and 50% white on every occasion. It means that you should deal with every issue independently and judge every situation on its merits. For instance, if we look at abortion, the middle way doesn't mean we should allow 50% of abortions and ban the other 50%. Every situation should be judged separately, rather than having a blanket rule for everyone. Allowing unlimited abortions at any stage of the pregnancy is an extremist viewpoint that would only be supported by severely unbalanced individuals. Never allowing abortions under any circumstance, even if it meant the likely death of the mother, is extremism on the other side. The extremes on either end of the spectrum are populated with emotionally unbalanced individuals who probably consider nuance a completely foreign or evil word. The world is not going to move forward if these unbalanced individuals are allowed to have a major influence in society. You would eventually be guaranteed a civil war, with everyone else caught in the middle, too scared to stand against the horde of unbalanced extremists, until it was too late. This situation might sound far off, or even impossible, but don't forget, every social or political calamity had small beginnings that were ignored for far too long. Everything starts small, even the most evil, heinous acts you can imagine, whether it was the Nazis or a sadistic serial killer. It's perhaps understandable why the more decadent, materialistic, or middle-class societies are more susceptible to being passive in the face of extremism. It's common for people to play it safe when they think they have something material to lose. People that are overly attached to their material life can employ long-term thinking in a calm state of mind, but when they're in an emotional state, they will become increasingly short-sighted. This is not the hallmarks of a balanced society. This is an overly emotional, insecure, and hedonistic society. When you predominantly focus on either the short-term or material needs, then your ideals will be rather lacking. You might as well be content with having the consciousness of an animal. When politicians appease the hysterical crowds or a few powerful people in high places, it's only for short-term gain. They care little for the long-term balance of society. This is basically because they don't have any real ideals. They just want immediate short-term gains, and they're most definitely not striving for true self-betterment. Those on the far left or far right are just the same. For them, evolving to be the best they can possibly be is just all too hard. When you truly want to walk the middle path, you'll be fighting for ideals that are beneficial for the long term, not for things that are emotionally satisfying, no matter how hard that is or how uncomfortable that will make you feel in certain social settings. In fact, being an actual centrist means you should probably fight more than the extreme individuals on either side of the political landscape, not just because you'll be fighting two sets of extremists, but because you won't have a tribe to hide behind. At times, you may even find yourself being a lone voice amongst a sea of childish hysteria and unreason. Of course, people will try to dissuade you from choosing the middle way. They'll try to convince you that their side is right and that anyone else can only be on the side of evil. But all they'll have on their side are emotions, not well thought out arguments, not reason. All they're selling is snake oil. Inevitably, the more extreme you are, the more emotional your arguments will be. But why do they really want to pull you away from your centrist position? Do they truly think that they're right and that they're trying to save you? Do they just want more people on their side to help convince themselves that they've chosen the right team? Do they just want to drag you down because the more balanced people of the world will be a threat to their ideologies one day? The underlying reason is that they're weak, and if you're weak, they will eventually drag you down with them. If being a truly balanced individual and caring about evolving and truth is just too difficult, then they'll be able to drag you down. Until, of course, the emptiness of compromising your ideals is just too much to bear, and the pain of lying to yourself becomes worse than being attacked by the lying, screeching extremist who will do anything to undermine those whose beliefs challenge their own. In this day and age, being a balanced individual or a political centrist is not easy. You might not always get attacked by both sides of the political aisle, but you'll undoubtedly be criticized and attacked by someone. And if you're quite vocal, it'll probably be quite often. This is why being balanced in your thinking is not enough. You need to be balanced emotionally, and you'll need the strength of character to withstand the barbs and insults from all those that will take your centrist approach to life and politics as an affront to their extremist cause. The videos on this channel won't be overly long. The feeling is that if you can't explain a specific idea in a simple and short way, then you're likely rambling, unable to get to the point, or you're obfuscating for some reason. Some of the best philosophies can be found in a single sentence. If the topic of personal insecurity and its influence on the regression of the West is of interest to you, then there's a link below this video to my book addressing this issue. See you next time.